Greetings, welcome to my channel. My name is IC, and today we'll be discussing the first verse from Psalms 1. It states, "Blessed is the man that walketh not in the counsel of the ungodly, nor standeth in the way of sinners, nor sitteth in the seat of the scornful." What does that mean? Many people that have asked this question tend to give me a blank stare or an insufficient interpretation from their point of view regarding this verse from Psalms 1. Notice, as with many other verses in the Bible, is very, very important to those who are seeking spiritual upliftment and who are seeking direction in how they should live a life that is pleasing to God through His Holy Son, Jesus the Christ. Let's look at the first part of this verse. "Blessed is the man that walketh not in the counsel of the ungodly." Have you ever seen a thief walking with a righteous man? You will never see that. There's another saying that like attracts like, and there's also another saying that water will always seek its own level. So we generally, consciously or unconsciously, associate ourselves with people who think or try to live in a manner that is basically similar to us. We seek friends based on, we have friendships based on the interest, the commonality that we share as friends. So I might have a friend who, because I love hockey and he loves hockey, we start to converse and eventually we become friends. But the interest that brought us together as friends or introduced us as friends was our mutual love for hockey. So the person who is seeking to be in tune with the Most High God through His Holy Son, Jesus the Christ, is not going to be seen in the company of the ungodly person who is against God, who is not seeking God, and who does not think about God. The only time you're going to see a godly person conversing with someone who is ungodly is when they might be trying to put some sense into their mental space for them to reconsider the way they're living, and if they wish to act upon the advice given to them, turn their lives around in a more positive way to God's eternal honor and glory through His Holy Son, Jesus the Christ. So, it is not prudent, nor does it make any sense whatsoever, for a godly person to be seeking the counsel of someone who does not know God. It is the equivalent of an auto mechanic seeking advice from a scuba diver or a woodworker regarding auto mechanics. It just doesn't make sense. You have to seek counsel from those who are conversant with the topic at hand in order to be enlightened further regarding whatever concerns you had or questions that might have arisen. Are you with me so far? So, blessed is the man that walketh not in the counsel of the ungodly. Is the man who does not seek advice from those who know nothing about God, but he takes it to the Lord in prayer through Jesus the Christ and the Spirit of God will give him the answer as long as he keeps his eyes open and observes. And it will be revealed to him in one form or the other, as long as he sought the counsel of God with sincerity and in truth through his Holy Son Jesus the Christ. Let's move to the next part. Nor standeth in the way of sinners. What can this be interpreted to mean? Standing in the way of a sinner is, in my opinion, doing things to prevent someone from growing spiritually, willfully or unconsciously. Standing in the way of a sinner prevents that person who we will refer to for the moment as the sinner from progressing spiritually, from being uplifted spiritually, from developing spiritually. Let's take an example of a man who goes to one of those clubs where the girls are dancing in a skimpy costume or probably nothing at all. The man gives a tip to the girl based on whatever he sees that he likes, or because he knows that her field of work does not really give her a decent pay unless she resorts to doing things to supplement her pay, which is not good for her moral development or progress. He says, okay, I know this girl is struggling even though she's pretty, so let me give her $100 tip. Let's say $100 tip. He leaves the club eventually, feeling good within himself, knowing that he gave a pretty girl a tip, and that $100 that he gave her is going to make a contribution towards her groceries, her rent, her clothing and shoes, and her general expenses in life whatsoever. So he leaves with the concept that he did something good because everybody else gave this girl a $10 tip and he gave her a $100 tip. But what did he really do? He stood in the way of that girl's progress spiritually. Reason being that when he gave the girl that $100, thinking that it is going to help her to clear her expenses, at the same time he is encouraging that girl to continue doing what she's doing in order to get more tips or bigger tips from other men. So by his actions, he has consciously or unconsciously put it into the mindset of that girl in question that it is okay for her to do what she's doing, and if she continues trying harder, then she might get even bigger tips from other men who come along. The girl, when she looks at it from that point of view, that she did something to justify a tip of that magnitude from one man, is saying, okay, what can I do next to get even bigger tips from other men? So she defiles herself further with her behavior and her general comportment, and as a result of that, she regresses spiritually. But physically, in her sight, in her mindset, in her way of thinking, she's progressing. But deep down, she does not know that she's regressing spiritually. See the point I'm making? So standing in the way of a sinner is doing things that hampers or retards the spiritual progress and development and upliftment of that individual in question. If the man had, for example, taken that said girl in question and said, okay, look here, I know that what you're doing, it's because you're not in a position to do better. So here's what I'm going to do for you. I would like to see if you're willing. I would like to be in a position to help you to come out of this situation that you're in, where you have to degrade yourself to make a few dollars. I have a job to offer you, or I have a friend who can give you a job, and you apply yourself and work with it, and eventually you will be financially stable in life. That is not standing in the way of a sinner at all. That is helping a sinner to progress and to look into themselves and realize that there are more ways to achieve things positively if only they stop to consider. Okay? Now, with the part that says, nor sitteth in the seat of the scornful. The problem with many people worldwide who have become Christians, whether yesterday or they have been Christians for a long time in their church, regardless of their religion, is that they tend to look down upon those who are not religiously or spiritually affiliated with God in a very scornful manner, in a very abhorrent manner. And one of the common phrases that I hear where these things are concerned, these things have been put to me many times before by people who come and speak with me. Because I'm not a member of their church, they say to me that I'm not saved. I said, how is it that I'm not saved? What makes you think or know that I'm not saved? And then they give me their opinion as to why I'm not saved. And then, after having further discussions with them, they realize that they might have had a misinterpretation of me by their unfounded judgment. Because it is not for us to declare who is saved from who is not saved. It is only God. It states in the Bible that God has his children whom he has chosen, his elect. It is not for any human being to declare to another human being that he or she is or is not saved. Because as the Bible states, many are called, but few are chosen. So that is one of the mistakes that many churches, religions, and the people who attend them make in thinking that because they have been baptized and they are now going to church, everybody else around them is trash, those who are not going there. That is not the way for a true Christian to think. A true Christian who is trying to serve his God to the best of his ability through Jesus Christ, his Holy Son, is going to exercise mercy, compassion, understanding to anyone he meets out there, no matter how bad that person is. Reason being, God is the judge of all. As Jesus states in the Bible, God can take these very stones and make children out of them. What Jesus is saying is that there is nothing that is impossible for God, which is quite true. The love and the mercy and the compassion and everything else concerning God and about God is far beyond the comprehension of any human being. Even Jesus the Christ said, "Remember that the one who sent me is far greater than I." So therefore, we must not be hasty to judge people who, because they are not a member of our church or they are not religiously affiliated, right? It is not for us to judge them, and it is not for us to scorn them. Because if you think of the most vile creature that comes to your mind, your interpretation of a vile creature, I leave that to you. That you don't want to see, you don't want to hear about, anything at all, look back on yourself and remember that God created that creature. For there's nothing outside, there's nothing in creation that was not created by God. Nothing at all. Otherwise he would not be God, because he's the creator of all. He's the one who gives us life, health and strength and so many other things. He gave us a spirit, he gave us a body. And he makes the way possible for us to go through another day. He puts us to bed at night and he wakes us in the morning. So therefore, we should not be hasty to scorn people because they are not of our religion or because they are not thinking about God the way that you do. Are you with me? So furthermore, what we need to do also is to try to tune in such a manner with God that we rise above our, for want of a better word right now, our prejudices that we have against each other. This will be discussed in another video. But I trust that you fully understand the point that I'm making regarding this first verse of Psalms 1. I thank you very much for listening to this. This is IC, and I ask that God will bless you. Have yourself a lovely day. Take care now.